Hi, I'm Steve Levine, record producer, and I'm here today at Rhodes HQ for the Plug-in Boutique blind test. You may know me on my music credits for bands like Culture Club, the Beach Boys' 1985 album, and the Honeys, but I'm also a proud Rhodes owner. I've just taken delivery of my brand new instrument, so I'm very excited to hear today how this plug-in sounds and how it stacks up against the real thing. So I'm now going to do the listening test. I've got my trusty headphones on. I use these Sennheisers when I'm mixing. They're really good for precision listening. So let's hear file number 1. To me, actually, one of the giveaways of samples versus the real thing is actually the low end, not the high end. Because actually the high end, in my experience of sampling, and I've been sampling since the very dawn of sampling technology. I had a Fairlight back in the 80s for the younger viewers. I've always struggled with sampling, and specifically, the Rhodes sound is particularly hard to sample in the low end because you need a longer file size, and to me, that's often the giveaway. The high notes you can get away with often. And certainly in the early days of sampling, the high notes transpose quite well anyway. So now let me hear version 2. Okay, I can hear a big difference in the low end. I would say number 2 is probably the real thing. And if it isn't, you've done a fantastic job. Those that are listening, I'd like to draw your ear to what I just described, the way the low end is, because I think that's quite an important part in getting a really good sample instrument to translate well in your DAW. Listen, I want to keep my powder dry for this one. Now that's quite interesting because in version 2, we're using tremolo, vibrato tremolo, whichever word you wish to use, and you're getting the panning effect. The panning effect can be really great on most instruments because you can disguise a weaker sample by having the panning. On those two, what I noticed differently was on the first example, the sustain sounded better. So my ear may be that the sustain is the giveaway there, that's the real instrument because of the sustain, but not because of the sample. The sample integrity is fantastic. So this sound you just listened to there, that incorporates a new feature on the Mark 8, which is the inbuilt distortion and inbuilt wah using the EQ. It's something that was never on the original Rhodes, but it's something that's a great feature to the modern player. So I'm intrigued to see how that translates. So I'd say, of listening to those two, the second one to me sounds more like it might be the plug-in, simply because of the way the effects sound. And I think this is something that's a really interesting venture forward with having both a real instrument and having a plug-in, because plug-in technology has moved on dramatically, and the various options that a producer has available now, distortion, wah, phasing, all those things can really add to a sound. So you can take actually quite a vanilla sound and in the track make it something quite spectacular. So between the two, I would say to my ear, the first one sounded more like what you get out of the actual piano versus the instrument. Well, interesting the way the sustain is on the higher end, because again, for those that are listening, hopefully listening in stereo, this one uses the vibrato pan, and it's interesting how the very pan on the new Rhodes is a really great sound. If that's what I'm listening to, great. If that's the actual instrument, then you've done a fantastic job of replicating that. Let me hear the version 2 of that, and then I will give you my definitive answer as to whether it's A or B. I'm just now waiting to hear the high end. Listening to those examples like that, and I'm not doing a direct A-B, switching from one to the other, which is maybe the truer test, but the second one might be the instrument in that example. And again, only because I was drawn to the way the sustain is on the upper end. I'm listening to these examples on great headphones. We're not in laboratory conditions. We're in, A-B conditions. Either way, I'm incredibly impressed because I'm having to listen very, very closely and really kind of focus to tell the difference. It's a subtle difference, which is always a great sign. So either way, the team here have done an amazing job at replicating the Mark 8 into the V8. So for those that don't have the budget to buy the real thing or have the space for the real thing, this is an incredible example of modern sampling technology. It really does. It's probably going to be one of the finest electric piano emulations out there. And I think that to have this in your arsenal would make a real difference to some of your tracks. It's really, really good. So I'm A-Bing in my headphones. I think I can hear some differences, but honestly, it's really, really subtle. I've been Steve Levine here at Rhodes HQ, taking part in the Plug-in Boutique blind listening test. And I've listened to the VST instrument, the V8, versus the Mark 8, the original instrument.